1 million doses of coronavirus vaccines administered in San Diego County. More on that milestone and details on changes to the rollout to try to help the most vulnerable communities. It's about a week away. How local healthcare providers are handling the upcoming tier expansion that will make people with certain pre-existing conditions now eligible. The latest on the $1.9 trillion relief bill being debated in the Senate. Local lawmakers weighing in on that legislation. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Happy Friday, you guys. Thanks for joining us. I'm Virginia Cha. Jim Patton, my co-anchor, is here as well as 10 News meteorologist Megan Perry. You guys look great. We're going to hear from you shortly, but first we want to start with this. This is a major milestone for San Diego. 1 million vaccine doses have been administered to people throughout the county. That includes both first and second doses. ABC 10 News reporter Natay Holmes explains the state's plans to make getting vaccinations easier for communities with limited access to health care.
Virginia, there have been a few hiccups over the past month with vaccine shortages, but this morning, local leaders celebrated the 1 millionth dose being given here at the Tubman Chavez Community Center, a county vaccine pod. Now, we do know that Supervisor Nathan Fletcher says that they are working to get more people vaccinated. One way that they're doing this is holding a specific number of doses for communities with what's called low health equity.
We know that this vaccine can save lives. We know it can slow the spread. We also know as a county we are moving faster than any other county in the state of California to administer these vaccines so we can get our kids back in school, get our businesses open, get back in the ballpark on opening day, and really move forward.
Vaccines will be safe for about a dozen communities with low health equity. Places like San Ysidro, National City, Logan Heights, City Heights, and parts of Oceanside, just to name a few. State leaders say while communities in these targeted programs are determined by daily case rates, going after the most vulnerable regions will help bring down countywide cases even faster. This in turn will allow counties like San Diego to move up in the state's reopening tier list. More appointments will be reserved for people living exclusively in these high priority zip codes, and those appointments can be made through the state's myturn.ca.gov website. Now, people in the targeted zip codes must still meet the vaccine eligibility requirements. This includes those ages 65 and older, educators, and some essential workers. In San Diego, Natay Holmes, ABC 10 News.
Natay, thank you very much. Well, along with those changes to the rollout, in less than 2 weeks, the next tier of individuals will be eligible to get their COVID-19 vaccines. Now, this group includes those who have high-risk conditions or disabilities. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell shows us how some will be notified that they are up next.
Under state guidelines on March 15th, those who have an underlying medical condition or a disability can get the COVID-19 vaccine. But how do you know if you fit in that category? Some Scripps Health patients have already started receiving notifications letting them know a letter will be sent to those who qualify. These patients can schedule a vaccine appointment through the MyScripps online portal beginning March 15th. Kaiser sent this statement saying, quote, "The demand for the vaccine still outweighs their supply, and they are working diligently to administer the vaccines to the communities they serve equitably and efficiently." Currently, Kaiser Permanente is vaccinating people 65 and older, residents of long-term care facilities, and those who work in healthcare, education, and childcare, adding they are working with state and local government agencies and other healthcare providers to establish large-scale vaccination sites for those who are eligible. ABC 10 News reached out to the other health systems in the county and are waiting to hear back. State health officials say the changes to the vaccine rollout will not have any impact on the state's plans to open up vaccinations on March 15th to those 16 to 64 with underlying serious medical conditions or disabilities. Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
And as we heard Natay mention just a moment ago, some hiccups in the rollout here in San Diego. The Del Mar station closing for a day tomorrow after the Petco Park closure earlier this week due to supply issues. The closures have forced people to reschedule and left some scrambling for an appointment to get their second dose on time.
I've been checking at least every hour on the website and nothing's come up.
Other sites across the county still open, and UCSD Health doesn't expect another closure at the Petco site. And another possible boost on the horizon. County officials tell us the first Johnson & Johnson doses should arrive in San Diego in the next week. Well, moments ago, Governor Newsom signing a bill to help schools reopen by the end of the month. State lawmakers approved the bill yesterday. It would greenlight $6.5 billion in funding as an incentive for schools to open to in-person learning by the end of the month. To get the funding, districts would have to open to different degrees based on where their counties are on the state's tier list. San Diego, for example, is in the most restrictive purple tier and would have to start out with in-person learning up to the second grade. The governor says it's an important step.
This is serious stuff. This is really important, not only to our kids in their future, but our economy. And if you care about moms, working moms, then you care about getting kids safely back into school, and I certainly do.
This coming after vaccinations were opened up to teachers earlier this month.
Well, meanwhile, in Washington, the Senate is back in session now after a marathon session that went into the early morning. Republicans forcing Democrats to read aloud the 628 pages of the COVID relief bill that the GOP says has too high a price tag. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the latest this morning.
As Senate Republicans try to stall a vote on President Biden's COVID relief package, economic aid for millions of Americans is hanging in the balance.
Pursuant to the fifth sentence of the Clause 1,
Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson forcing the Senate clerk to read the entire text of the 628-page bill, delaying debate on the legislation by nearly 11 hours.
I'm trying to actually return the Senate to more deliberative body when it relates to a $1.9 trillion spending package.
Republicans are expected to introduce several amendments to the bill today as part of another effort to postpone a vote. They argue the price tag of the $1.9 trillion package is too high.
This isn't a pandemic rescue package. It's a parade of left-wing pet projects.
The bill includes additional unemployment benefits of $400 per week, $160 billion for coronavirus testing and vaccines, help for small businesses, and $1,400 stimulus checks for individuals earning up to $75,000 per year.
It's simply an extension of the things that were bipartisan priorities last year.
Democrats say the delay is wasting valuable time for Americans in need of help. Federal unemployment benefits are set to run out March 14th. And the government's February unemployment report showed that while hiring is starting to pick up, the economy still has 9.5 million fewer jobs than before the pandemic started.
It's our job to hasten the day when Americans can go back to work.
Now senators can present unlimited amendments, so this bill turned into a bit of a stamina test today. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Well, today, all 4 Democrats who represent San Diego in the House will discuss the relief bill called the American Rescue Plan. They'll be joined by local community leaders to talk about how that plan would benefit the community, including getting COVID shots into arms, money into people's pockets, and assistance to local small businesses and nonprofits. All 4 Democrats from the local delegation voted for the House version of that plan last week. Their event kicks off at 2 this afternoon.